How could tracking devices affect car accident claim? Drive and Save programs are nothing new. Progressive introduced their Snapshot program in 1998. Since then State Farm, Allstate, Liberty Mutual, and Nationwide among others have rolled out similar programs to track driving habits and reward drivers with safe driving discounts. But it isn't 1998 anymore, and concerns about who sees our data and how our data is used have made consumers wary of Snapshot and other tracking apps. How much information do these programs actually collect? What else could your insurance company be doing with your data? As to whether or not you'll actually receive a discount from using a car insurance tracking device or app, that depends on how your insurance company defines safe driving. But if you are in a car accident, your insurance company may use your tracking data to assign fault where it isn't due. In an Indiana car accident, one person is rarely 100% at fault. Instead, the fault can be shared between the involved parties. Let's say for example that driver 1 rear-ended driver 2. The majority of the fault almost always lies with the driver who does the rear-ending. But if driver 2 had both brake lights out, driver 2 could share some percentage of the fault. In Indiana, you can recover damages from the other driver as long as you are 50% or less at fault. Your total settlement amount is then reduced by your percentage of fault. For example, if you were awarded $100,000 but were found 25% at fault, then you would only receive $75,000. The less fault you have, the better you were driving at the moment of the accident, the more money you could recover. Insurance companies do not want to part with a single dime unless they have to. Therefore it is to their benefit to prove that whoever is trying to recover damages from them had as much fault as possible, because that means the final settlement amount will be that much smaller, even if it isn't fair to the person seeking damages. I believe insurance companies will try to use the raw data to trap our clients into some comparative fault when none really existed under the circumstances, says Ms. Graziano. If you opt into a drive tracking program like DriveWise or Snapshot, you give your insurance company permission to use your driving data to resolve insurance claims. But that doesn't guarantee that they will use the data in your favor. Here are 3 scenarios where the data from your drive tracker could potentially be used against you. Scenario 1, one party is uninsured. Let's say that you were in a hit and run. Every car insurance policy in Indiana must include uninsured/underinsured motorist coverage, unless you waive it in writing, that helps pay for accidents caused by drivers who don't have insurance, as well as accidents with phantom drivers, like hit and runs. Your uninsured motorist coverage would cover $25,000 per person up to $50,000 in personal injuries, and $10,000 in property damage. Remember, your insurance company wants to spend as little money as possible. If the data from your drive tracking app shows that you could have contributed to the crash, say you were taking a corner quickly, or if you didn't brake as quickly as you could have, then your insurance company could assign you a higher percentage of fault to get out of paying the full $25,000. And since it was a hit and run, there's no data from the other driver to help dispute their findings. Scenario 2, the same company insures both parties. Let's say that you are in a car accident with a driver who ran a stop sign at a 4-way stop. Both of you are insured by State Farm, and both of you use their Drive Safe and Save app. State Farm insures over 43 million vehicles, so the odds of this happening are higher than you think. Even though the other driver has more fault, you'll both need to file through State Farm. State Farm now has 2 claims to pay instead of 1. They want to keep the final settlement amounts as small as possible. To do that, they may try to split fault as equally as possible between the drivers. Drive Safe and Save tracks acceleration, speed, braking, cornering, and phone use. State Farm can use the raw data collected by the app to say you deserve a higher percentage of fault. Scenario 3, different companies insure both parties. There is a possibility that State Farm could share your driving data with the other driver's insurance company if the raw data suggests you were less at fault. The other insurance company may then have to pay more if you file for damages. This would mean less damages for State Farm to cover. A good thing for the insurance company, right? But State Farm hesitate to share customer data with a competing insurance company, even though they can use your data to settle insurance claims.